After my hearing recovered, I hurried to show off to my arch-nemesis, but I accidentally caught her staring at a photo of me with a face full of grievance. "My love, when will you finally fall in love with me? I really want to be close to you." Oh heavens, what the hell is this? So, I decided to hide the fact that my hearing had recovered and watched her continue acting in front of me. Clearly, the sign language she used said, "Why are you here? Get lost." But the words that came out of her mouth were, "Boo-hoo, my love, can you kiss me?" The first thing I did after regaining my hearing was go find my lifelong rival, Olivia Harper, to brag. We had been mortal enemies since we were kids. After a car accident damaged my hearing for 3 years, she would show up in front of me every day, occasionally arguing with me using sign language. Yes, she even learned sign language just so she could argue with me. Olivia Harper had arrived at her company. When I got there, the receptionist didn't stop me, something I had gotten used to. Visiting each other's companies to stir up trouble had become a weekly ritual. The receptionist smiled and nodded at me. I nodded back. Just as I turned to enter the elevator, I heard people gossiping behind me. The boss's boyfriend came to see her again. So sweet. Her face will definitely light up today. I turned around in surprise. The receptionist noticed my expression and immediately stopped talking. Boss's boyfriend? Were they talking about Olivia Harper? So, her boyfriend is Olivia Harper's boyfriend? She already has a boyfriend? Before I could think more, the elevator reached the top floor. I pushed open her office door. She was alone, sitting on the sofa, completely absorbed in something. Before I even got close, I heard her say, "My love, when will you fall in love with me?" Oh, so she was daydreaming about someone. Curious to know who this lucky guy was, I got closer. Only to see the photo she was gazing at was of me. God, why is it me? Looking at my youthful face in the photo, it must have been taken a few years ago. Olivia Harper finally realized I was there and, startled, quickly flipped the photo face down and signed at me, "What are you doing here?" She frowned, clearly displeased by my presence. But for the first time, I caught a glimpse of uncontrollable affection in her eyes. Olivia Harper likes me. A mischievous idea popped into my head. I decided not to tell her that my hearing had recovered. I continued watching her act. Her sign said, "Why are you here? Get lost," but her voice said, "Boo-hoo, my love, can you kiss me?" I used to think that when she mumbled in front of me every day, she was cursing me behind my back, taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't hear. But how funny, it turned out she was secretly in love with me. So I signed back, "Why did you steal my photo?" while reaching for the picture on her desk. I didn't remember owning such a photo. Judging from the angle, it looked like it was taken in secret. Olivia Harper is truly something. Panicking, she quickly said, "What do you mean it's yours? This is mine." But her hand signed something else, "I keep it so I won't forget my enemy." She held the photo and muttered softly, "This photo is mine, and you are mine too." Ha! I don't know what she was thinking, but her face turned bright red all the way to her ears. She looked adorably innocent. It was getting late. Facing her somewhat hopeful gaze, I took the initiative to sign, "I'm hungry. Olivia, would you mind buying me a meal?" She signed back with mock annoyance, "Have the noble young master gone bankrupt and need to leech off me?" But her mouth said loudly, "I'd love to. I really want to feed you with my own hands." I almost believed her. I pretended to leave, "If you're not going to invite me, then forget it." As expected, just as I reached the door, Olivia Harper chased after me with her coat in hand. She grabbed my sleeve and signed, "I'm not so poor that I can't buy a meal. Let's go, my young master." I pulled my sleeve away. She froze for a second, eyes turning red, looking like an abandoned kitten. Silly girl. I helplessly signed, I rushed out so fast I forgot my glasses. I can't see clearly. Let me hold your hand. Then I reached out and took her hand. This time, her reaction lasted a full minute and a half. She looked at me. Olivia Harper chased after me with her coat in hand. She grabbed my sleeve and signed, "I'm not so poor that I can't buy a meal. Let's go, my young master." I pulled my sleeve away. She froze for a second, eyes turning red, looking like an abandoned kitten. Silly girl. I helplessly signed, "I rushed out so fast I forgot my glasses. I can't see clearly. Let me hold your hand." Then I reached out and took her hand. This time, her reaction lasted a full minute and a half. She looked at me. I deliberately chose the most expensive Western restaurant in the city center. Olivia Harper had money, and she wouldn't say no. The interior was excellent. Through the restaurant's glass windows, we could see the whole city. The waitress greeted us warmly. "Are you a couple? We're currently offering an 88% discount for couples." I was about to shake my head, but Olivia Harper quickly said, "Yes, he's my husband. Please give us a quiet table." "Yes, beautiful lady." After the waitress left, I pretended not to know and asked her, "What did you just say to her?" "She thinks I'm too pretty, so she's giving us a discount," Olivia Harper replied. "Humph, bragger." While we were eating, a familiar and annoying voice came from behind. "Dylan Brooks." I didn't even turn around. The man walked right up to me and touched my arm. "Oh, right. Forgot you're deaf now." I looked up at the contorted face of Dylan Brooks, my dad's son with his second wife. I couldn't be bothered with him and continued eating. But Dylan Brooks wouldn't let it go. His girlfriend asked, "Honey, who's this?" "He's the bastard son from my dad's first wife, the one who died early." His girlfriend gasped. "You said that and he's not mad?" "It's fine," Dylan said carelessly. "He's deaf now. Just a deaf guy. He still thinks he can fight me for the inheritance." Inheritance fight? I honestly found him so stupid it was funny. He and his mom probably didn't know. My dad never had shares in the company. My grandfather transferred all the shares to me when I turned 18. All of them. There's no way my grandfather would hand over his life's work to outsiders. I had no intention of responding to Dylan's taunts. After all, I was pretending to be deaf. But the next moment, Dylan let out a yelp. Turns out Olivia Harper had accidentally spilled a cup of hot coffee on him. His hand turned red instantly. "Oh no, sorry, I totally did that on purpose," she said. "Wait, no, I didn't. But don't take it personally." She looked just as carefree as always. I remembered she once told me, in my dictionary, the phrase, "feeling wronged," doesn't exist. Later, I realized, she doesn't even have a dictionary. Classic her. Dylan was full of rage but didn't dare to go against Olivia Harper. He turned to leave, but she blocked his way. Just because he doesn't mind doesn't mean I don't. Apologize to Ethan Cole. Dylan could only mutter a sorry to me. But Olivia Harper still wouldn't let him go. "That's your sincere apology? You don't know how to sign sorry? Can't you learn right now? Don't have a phone or don't have a brain?" I struggled to hold back my laughter. Pretending not to hear was hard. I nearly face-planted into my plate. Dylan gritted his teeth. "Olivia Harper, don't go too far." "Really? I could go even further. Or maybe go cry to whichever number dad of yours for backup." Dylan looked like he'd eaten something bitter. His face was so dark it was hard to look at. After 10 minutes of learning sign language, he finally signed, "Sorry." Once Dylan and his girlfriend left, I was about to speak but remembered I was pretending to be deaf, so I quickly signed to Olivia Harper, "Thanks. No need to thank me. Only I get to bully you. Who does she think she is? I went back to eating, then suddenly heard her say, I don't want a simple thank you, I want a kiss. I immediately spat my wine. Olivia Harper quickly handed me a napkin. I could only explain I choked by accident, my face flushed red. Oops, that wasn't in sign language. I leaned close and looked at her. She didn't understand my hand sign. What's wrong? I shook my head. Luckily, she wasn't too sharp. Pretending to be deaf in front of her was getting harder. Who'd have thought this girl was so different inside and out? She signed, Ethan Cole, is your brain broken? A project that dangerous and you couldn't tell? Give me the proposal. I hadn't planned to accept the project anyway. Just looking at it, I knew something was fishy. I'm deaf, not blind. She leaned to the other end of the sofa, looking all smug. That trash project is worth you wasting time just because you love me? If you love me, give me 200 million. If you have time, why not just kiss me? I really wanted to say, okay. Everyone has their own values, but hey, it's 200 million. Olivia Harper frowned and signed again. Why are you staring at me? What bad idea are you cooking up now? I hadn't noticed before, this girl was too good looking. I'd always known that. If not, why would I have snatched her milk bottle and kissed her when we first met as kids? That's when our grudge started. But unlike what I imagined, Olivia Harper didn't seem to hate that kiss at all. I blinked and signed, Olivia Harper, you're really beautiful. Messing with her was as fun as ever. She froze for a second, her eyes widened. Then quickly signed back, are you mentally ill? Her beautiful face visibly blushed. Her mouth said, honey, I'm this pretty, why haven't you kissed me yet? I quietly scooted away. Sometimes I really worry about her mental health. What if she actually had multiple personalities? Would she still give me 200 million? That evening, when I got home, my dad's teacup came flying at me as soon as I stepped in. Hot tea soaked my shoes. You still have the nerve to come back here? I glanced at Dylan, crying beside him, and my stepmother, face full of hatred. I quickly understood what happened. I didn't care. Turned to head upstairs. I couldn't hear anything anyway. But Dylan grabbed my arm and dragged me down. He used a lot of force, I almost fell down the stairs. But no one cared. Everyone looked like they were judging a criminal. My stepmother pulled out her phone and typed, helping an outsider bully your younger brother? Is that how your mother raised you? Olivia Harper is the outsider? Just because they didn't dare touch her, they took it all out on me. Those three cowards all stared at me like I was a traitor. My stepmother said to my dad, oh, don't blame Ethan Cole. I'm sure he didn't mean it. There's no way he'd side with outsiders. Sure, he's never liked us much, but he definitely wouldn't help the other side. I really wanted to keep pretending to be deaf so I wouldn't have to hear her disgusting voice. Who are you talking about? I typed on my phone and showed it to my dad. I don't know what you're all saying. I met Dylan Brooks at lunch. He left shortly after. I have no idea what happened to him. Which was completely true. I didn't say a word. Dylan Brooks trembled with anger. I know it's all his fault. That's why they all bully me. Fine, I can accept my big brother doesn't like me, but how can I let Olivia Harper humiliate me too? He was the one who picked a fight at lunch. He didn't even act that guilty. Meanwhile, a turtle farted. Didn't hear a thing. Didn't hear a thing. I kept typing. Dad, I didn't hear anything. I don't even know what Dylan Brooks and Olivia Harper said at lunch. He hesitated a little. After all, it's hard to deliberately pick a fight when you can't even hear. That's something anyone with half a brain could figure out. Then he asked Dylan Brooks, did you do anything to upset Miss Olivia? My stepmother immediately jumped in to defend him. Our little Dylan Brooks is such a sweet, obedient boy. People must have picked on him just because he's easy to bully. Dylan Brooks started fake crying. I don't want to live anymore. I'd rather jump off a building than deal with this. Yeah, well, still waiting for him to actually do it. But that act always worked on my dad. His beloved wife and son were sobbing wrecks. He didn't care what the truth was. He told me to apologize. The words on my phone screen burned my eyes. He said it didn't matter whose fault it was. Ethan Cole apologized to Dylan Brooks. Things like this happened so often growing up, but every time, it still hurt like someone had their hand wrapped around my heart. My fist clenched, then loosened. I couldn't bring myself to apologize to Dylan Brooks. If you don't apologize, don't blame me for no longer recognizing you as my son. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I turned and walked upstairs. My father's authority had been challenged. In a rage, he grabbed the boiling kettle beside him and hurled it at me. I dodged, but scalding water splashed onto my arm. Back in my room, I locked the door, made sure no one would barge in, and calmly pulled out the first aid kit to dress the burn myself. Just as I finished bandaging the wound and was about to tidy up and sleep, Olivia Harper's video call came in. As soon as I picked up, she started signing, "Nothing serious. Just checking if you're still alive." She called me once every night like this. During the day, we were rivals on the battlefield. At night, we video called each other, just to argue in sign language. Truly, no one like us. She signed again, "Why are your eyes red?" "I'm fine. Just not normal." Her brows furrowed. "Someone bullied you, didn't they?" She said it offhandedly, but somehow hit the nail on the head. I couldn't hold back anymore. I curled up on my bed and cried until my chest hurt. She called me once every night like this. During the day, we were rivals on the battlefield. At night, we video called each other, just to argue in sign language. Truly, no one like us. She signed again, "Why are your eyes red?" "I'm fine. Just not normal." Her brows furrowed. "Someone bullied you, didn't they?" She said it offhandedly, but somehow hit the nail on the head. I couldn't hold back anymore. I curled up on my bed and cried until my chest hurt. When I finally calmed down, trying to pull myself together, I noticed Olivia Harper had ended the call. And my heart sank a little. I was about to lie down when I suddenly heard a knock at the window. Opening it, under the moonlight, I saw her. Olivia Harper was crouching by my window. This was the second floor. She must have worked hard to climb up here, clothes and face smudged with dirt, looking both wild and ridiculous. Her hands weren't free to sign, so she looked up at me with big, pitiful eyes. I reached out and pulled her in. "Why are you here?" Olivia Harper completely ignored my hand signs and grabbed my injured arm. "Who did this?" "It was that temperamental old man, wasn't it? Your dad." She cursed him without restraint. What a bastard. What kind of father does that to his own son? After ripping into him, she turned to scold me, "Don't you know how to fight back? Or dodge?" I sighed helplessly. I tried. Just didn't manage to dodge in time. I forced myself to act like it didn't hurt. Maybe deep down, I didn't want to show weakness in front of Olivia Harper. She was, after all, my biggest rival. But the next second, she pulled me into a hug. And then I heard her say, "Why do you always end up hurt? It's my fault. I didn't protect you well." The tears I'd fought to hold back finally overflowed. She quickly let go, panicking, and started signing, "Don't cry. If you don't want a hug, that's fine." She thought I was crying because I didn't want her comfort. Trying to make it light, she shrugged and joked, "I read online that hugs heal the soul. You know I've always been a kind person since I was a kid. Yeah, right. More like always bragging since she was a kid. I couldn't help but laugh through my tears. Olivia Harper signed again, half laughing, half crying. Are you insane? But she said aloud, you look good when you smile. I took her trembling hand. Up close, I could feel her body go rigid. Before she could react, I kissed her. Her lips were thin, just like when we were kids. Still easy to kiss. It wasn't the most comfortable angle, so I meant to pull away quickly. But the moment I tried to, she hugged my waist and deepened the kiss. Only when I was breathless did she finally let me go, still looking unsatisfied. Olivia Harper blushed instantly. She always blushed easily. She signed, Ethan Cole, you perv. I feel like a pure girl being corrupted. Then I heard her mutter, you kissed me, so now you have to take responsibility, right? Let's go get married tomorrow. You don't kiss someone you don't like, right? She was being so noisy. I turned away, afraid I wouldn't be able to hide my expression. But that only made her panic more, thinking I was trying to escape responsibility. She rambled on, don't tell me you kissed me just to improve your kissing skills. I won't accept that excuse. You have to take responsibility. Could someone please mute her? My newly recovered ears were about to give out again. When I finally managed to compose myself and turned around to face her. She'd already gone quiet. She had spent so long in silence. Ever since my mom died because of my dad's affair, I stopped believing in love. I swore I'd never fall for anyone. But now, facing Olivia Harper's eyes, I don't know why, but the idea of a romance that had been schemed long ago didn't seem so bad. Before I could even open my mouth to explain everything, Olivia Harper had already signed with her hands, don't say anything. I understand it all now. I was just a tool for your practice. A tool? I didn't get it. She continued signing, don't worry. I know the rules of the game. I don't need you to take responsibility. Her signs were full of bravado, but her eyes were red, tears welling up in the corners. I really didn't know how she came up with so many dramatic scenarios in such a short time. Do I look like the kind of person who would kiss someone randomly? I'm a righteous person. I didn't even know how to comfort someone, but I coldly signed to her, then according to your rules, I don't need you anymore. You can go. Olivia Harper turned and left, and I heard her sobbing. After she was gone, I regretted it. These sign languages I used are just like my mouth, too blunt. The truth is, it's not that I can't comfort her. I've just grown up always competing with her. Clashing in everything, never wanting to back down. Maybe I should call Olivia Harper and explain clearly. But I really couldn't swallow my pride. In the end, I turned to my best friend abroad, Ryan Carter, for help. The video call connected. He asked right away, your hearing's back? Yes, it's back. No, something's off. How do you know? Back when your hearing was damaged and you couldn't speak, there was a clarity in your eyes untouched by vulgar words. He knew me too well. Besides, I remember the doctor always said, it's only temporary deafness. You'll recover. The first rule in illness is to stay calm. So that's how it was. Just as I was about to continue, he added, only that brat Olivia Harper, knowing your hearing was damaged, practically wanted to trade ears with you. She almost flipped the whole hospital, tried to beat up the driver who hit you. No one could stop her. Olivia Harper? You mean all of that was because of her? Ryan Carter looked surprised. You didn't know? I had no idea. All I remember is walking down the street, then suddenly getting hit by an out-of-control car. Then I was unconscious for a whole day. When I woke up, Olivia Harper was sitting by my bed, making signs at me. But I had just lost my hearing, hadn't learned sign language yet, and had no idea what she was saying. I thought she was mocking me. Wow, your breakup must have been messy. We were never even together. I looked up at the sky and sighed. Tonight could have been the start of something. But I missed the chance. We never even had a beginning. I always thought you two were one of those couples who broke up but still had lingering feelings. Because of love turned to hate? You thought I dumped her, and she clung on and failed, so she secretly called me darling? Then why did you two compete for so many years? I stayed silent. Seeing Olivia Harper as my rival, of course, was because she was brilliant. As for why I was so obsessed with being number one, always needing to win. Dark memories surfaced. When I was 3, my father already had a child with another woman. He started staying out late, sometimes disappearing for days. Even when he came home, he wouldn't spare my mother a glance. She couldn't bear the betrayal. She tried everything to make him come back, but nothing worked. Eventually, her gaze turned to me. I was his biological son, after all. Surely, he wouldn't completely abandon me. My father, to his credit, still had some conscience. I started getting injured for no reason, burns one day, falling downstairs the next. Looking back, I was lucky to survive. But tricks like those don't last long. As I got older, my mother taught me to fight for the top spot. Only if you're number one, she said, will your father come back and love you. No one loves a loser. That belief haunted me until I was 10. On my 10th birthday, which was also the anniversary of my parents' first date, I came home holding a perfect math exam that qualified me for the National Olympiad. My mother dressed up beautifully. She and I waited by the dinner table for someone who hadn't returned home in a long time. By midnight, the most important day had come and gone. She finally got through to him. But it was a woman's voice on the line. I couldn't hear what she said. Then the call ended. My mother sat there in a daze for a long time. Then broke down. She told me to go to bed, and then she climbed up to the rooftop. And jumped. No hesitation. She was gone, but I was already used to striving to be number one, especially against Olivia Harper, my longtime rival. Coming back to reality, I told Ryan Carter all about the recent drama. What do you think I should do? Go explain to Olivia Harper. Make it clear. I'm hesitating. Isn't it too soon? This is the final kick you need, that's all. Ryan Carter pushed up his glasses. Listen to me, lend me your noble pride for a while. Go explain to her, or you'll regret it. He was right. But before I could go find Olivia Harper, she had already come looking for me. Work at the company had kept me too busy to leave. By the time everything was done, it was already night. As soon as I stepped out of the office, I got a message from her: if you don't show up at the bar, you're the loser. I laughed out of frustration. Olivia Harper, is that how you treat your husband? But I had to admit, provocation works very well on me. 20 minutes later, I showed up at the bar door. Either I didn't want to be the loser, or I needed to regain my momentum. With just one glance around the room, I saw Olivia Harper sitting in the center of a group, vibrant and radiant. I was about to step forward to greet her when I overheard someone say, "Olivia, did you fight with your boyfriend?" Olivia Harper opened her phone, stared at a chat screen, then turned it off again. She kept staring at that same conversation window, not saying a word. Someone else chimed in, "With a woman as amazing as you, Olivia, you could have any man you wanted." "Shut up," Olivia Harper snapped, obviously annoyed. Just then, she met my gaze. She immediately stood up and walked toward me. The anger she had a moment ago softened the moment she saw me. She signed to me. "Why are you here?" The bar was loud, music thumping. But I heard her call me darling several times. Olivia Harper suddenly acted drunk and threw herself into my arms, complaining bitterly, "You finally show up?" Were you planning to let me drink myself to death before coming to pick up my corpse? If I die, that's one less rival for you, right? That must make you really happy, huh? Ethan Cole, you're heartless. Even if I die, I'll haunt you as a ghost. Thinking I couldn't hear, she poured out all her frustrations wildly. Perfect. I dragged Olivia Harper out of the bar, ignoring her struggles. Shoved her into the back seat of my car, and took her to my place. After growing up, I bought my own place and only returned to my father's house to grab stuff now and then. Olivia Harper sat quietly in the car's back seat, still didn't forget to use sign language. She asked me, "Why did you bring me to your house?" "Ethan Cole, you have impure intentions toward me." After signing that, she crossed her arms defiantly, as if prepared to die before surrendering. I frowned, sat on her lap. Her neck turned red. She quickly signed again. I no longer hid the fact that my hearing had recovered. I leaned close and whispered in her ear, "I can hear now. You can speak directly. I can hear everything." Olivia Harper exploded. "You heard me? Since when? Was it when you saw that message where I accidentally called you, darling, in the photo? You heard wrong. I clearly called you old pervert." "Fine, I'll go. But honestly, Olivia Harper, I quite like hearing you call me darling." I winked at her. As soon as I finished speaking, she couldn't hold back any longer and pressed her lips to mine. Just as I was sinking into it, she pushed me away. "No, don't kiss me. You'll just refuse to take responsibility again." Her voice was aggrieved. "I never said I wouldn't take responsibility. I'm not that kind of guy. Olivia Harper, I kind of like you too." Silence. Olivia Harper said nothing, just stared at me, her expression constantly shifting. I was frozen with fear. The next second, her hand tightened around my waist. Her voice dropped. "Okay, can you write me an IOU?" "What?" "Write it down. Prove you're really going to take responsibility." I gave up. After writing it out, signing it, and stamping my thumbprint, I handed the paper to her. "Happy now?" She nodded, as if finally processing everything. She suddenly whimpered, "Darling, so it was mutual love all along." "Well, not quite. I really did see you only as a rival at first. But over time, I realized my true feelings. Olivia Harper, if you liked me, why didn't you say anything?" She still managed to keep everything bottled up. What a woman with no mouth. She glared at me with a deeply wronged expression. "Think again, are you sure I never said anything? In our sophomore year of college, I confessed to you. You said I had bad intentions, trying to distract you the night before the big competition. That did kind of happen." She continued accusing me. "I sent you a love letter, and you thought I was just showing off my writing." The more she said, the guiltier I felt. I really thought it was some kind of love letter competition. I stayed up all night to write 18 letters. I felt lucky to be your rival, but I didn't have to win. I just wanted to stand next to you on stage, first and second place, side by side. Ethan Cole, I just wanted to stand next to you." While she spoke, her hand drifted to somewhere inappropriate. After I stopped her, she leaned in, voice hoarse, and whispered in my ear, "Darling, how about a match?" "What match?" Before I could react, Olivia Harper pressed against me. In that moment, Olivia Harper won, completely. I temporarily kept my recovered hearing a secret from the outside world. Everyone at work only knew one thing: I was in love with the boss of our rival company. And every day, we left together, hand in hand. The number of times Olivia Harper appeared at our company was nearly equal to that of a full-time employee. As soon as she entered my office, she locked the door. Before I could react, she had already pinned me against the wall. "Olivia Harper, what are you doing? This is a company, if someone sees us, I'll lose all my dignity." But she showed no sign of embarrassment, pulling my hand and sliding it under her shirt. The smoothness of her skin was intoxicating. Noticing how I liked it, her eyes sparkled with confident mischief. When I looked down at her, she tugged me forward, making me fall into her embrace. She leaned her head on my shoulder, her petite frame nearly blocking out all the light around me, and spoke in a soft, aggrieved voice, "Darling, it hurts here." She pointed at her heart. I followed her cheesy line of flirting, "Haven't seen me for half an hour, and you miss me so much it hurts?" She shook her head and continued. "No, it's because you bit me too hard last night. Don't say anything." I quickly covered her mouth, stopping her from saying anything more inappropriate. But Olivia Harper wasn't about to let me off the hook so easily. With a seemingly innocent expression, she bit my hand gently, her eyes full of playful desire. I quickly pulled my hand back. "I'll go buy some ointment for you right now." "And who are you to buy ointment for me, Darling, I think I'm in so much pain that I forgot. Why don't you remind me, who are you to me?" Her small frame held me tightly, refusing to back down until I turned red and called myself her husband. "Okay? Happy now?" Olivia Harper, satisfied with my answer, finally let me go. "All right, I'll stop teasing you." She shifted back to a serious tone. "The documents on the accident you asked me to investigate. The car accident from 4 years ago that caused your hearing loss. I've always suspected it wasn't an accident." After hiding the fact that my hearing had recovered, I returned once again to my mother's old house. The first voice I heard was the angry shouting of Dylan Brooks, "Why should that trash Ethan Cole get to fight me for the inheritance? I'm the son Dad loved the most." My stepmother chimed in, "That old man must be out of his mind." It seemed they had found out that my grandfather had left them nothing, no shares at all. I was about to head down the stairs when I suddenly heard another familiar voice. "No matter what, he's still my son. He has to listen to me." My father. So he was here too. The three of them assumed I couldn't hear. Their schemes were brazen. I stood silently at the stairwell, watching their ugly expressions. My stepmother said, "And if he doesn't listen to you? What will become of me and Dylan Brooks? We'll be out on the streets." She gave a subtle glance. And Dylan Brooks immediately burst into tears. "Dad, I don't want to end up on the streets. I'd rather die." As if he dares. But my father's voice lacked confidence. These years, he hadn't been able to control me anymore. I owned the majority shares of the company, and I had full decision-making power. He hesitated for a moment, then a cunning look appeared on his face. "It's all right. If a son dies, the father should inherit his share, right?" The implication was clear. Just like 3 years ago. My stepmother's words sent a chill down my spine. I watched my father nod. There had already been one accident, there could easily be a second. The scariest part was that it was never truly an accident. That day, on a deserted road, the out-of-control car had charged straight at me. I didn't even have time to dodge. And while I was unconscious, my father and the others signed papers on my behalf. The drunk driver got off with a small compensation payment, tens of thousands. And no further consequences. When I woke up and wanted to investigate, my hearing loss made everything difficult. And by then, the driver had completely vanished without a trace. I used to suspect my stepmother and her son were behind everything. I also thought my father was just covering for them. But now that I think about it, I was completely wrong. Mai and his mother were just parasites, spending their days shopping and partying. How could they possibly pull off such a meticulous plan? Turns out, my father was the true mastermind all along. I asked Olivia Harper to pull the investigation documents on the car accident. When I saw the thick stack of files, I sighed. It was all the connections of the driver. Olivia Harper said, "The person who hit you was a driver named Hank Turner, 41 years old, from City Y. He's currently living as a farmer, known for being lazy and gluttonous, but someone in a luxury car came to find him." She pulled out a photo. The person looked strangely familiar. He dropped out of middle school, but had a very handsome boyfriend. She funded his education, but once he got into college, he dumped her for not being rich enough. So she became a rich man's mistress. We looked at each other. She nodded, "Yes. That woman was your stepmother." I looked at the date on the file. It happened to match the estimated birth year of Dylan. But no one could say for sure if she got pregnant before or after the breakup. Olivia Harper caught onto my suspicion. I had their DNA tested, Hank Turner and Dylan Brooks. She pulled out a paternity test report from the stack. It was almost laughable. My father had raised another man's son. He'd be livid if he knew. Serves him right. Hank Turner was truly a scumbag who couldn't resist the sight of money, but that made it easier for us to get the truth. Olivia Harper only needed to offer him a small bribe, and he confessed everything about the plan from back then. My stepmother had given him $1 million to hit someone with his car. At first, he refused to commit such a crime. But then she brought out Dylan Brooks and told him, "This is your real son." He still had feelings for that woman. And once he found out she had borne him a child, he couldn't say no. But he had one more condition: Dylan Brooks must visit him every month as a son should visit his father. After getting video evidence of the confession, Olivia Harper asked, "Should we go to the police now?" "No," I shook my head. 3 years ago, it was intentional injury, but not life-threatening. Those bastards would only serve a few years at most. That's too light. They wanted a second accident, didn't they? Then let's give them one. Maybe no one else in the world can analyze so calmly when the person trying to kill them is their own father. I shrugged. Isn't it perfectly in character for them to do something like this? Olivia Harper didn't say anything. But the way she tightly gripped my hand was all the reassurance I needed. My father suddenly started acting overly concerned. So I played along, pretending to feel touched, putting on a sentimental father-son act. For my 26th birthday, he gifted me a race car from America, called 10,000 Miles. In reality, it was a car with faulty brakes. I flaunted the luxury vehicle in front of my every day. Judging by the way his face turned dark with envy, I could tell my father hadn't told Dylan anything about the plan. Then, on a sunny, beautiful day, I couldn't find my car key. Because the car was extremely valuable and had never been driven, Olivia Harper and I decided to report it to the police. At the station, the officer was filing the report when another rushed in. "There's been a hit and run on street. A middle-aged woman was struck and killed. Driver fled the scene." The officer brought in a photo of the scene. Then he looked at us. "Are you sure the missing item is a car with license plate?" I shook my head. "No, only the key is missing. The car should still be in my garage. We just reported it to prevent theft," he said. "Both your key and your car have been found." We arrived at the crash site, already roped off by police tape. The ambulance had just left. I heard that the victim was a well-dressed middle-aged woman, declared dead at the scene. Preliminary cause of the crash: brake failure. How could the brakes have failed? This was a brand new car my father had given me just last month. "Officer, this is a serious safety issue. You can't just let the manufacturer off the hook." I opened the office door. Inside was only my father. The air reeked of blood. The fruit knife in his hand hadn't been set down yet. On the floor, lying in a pool of blood, was Dylan. The one who caused the accident. After realizing he'd hit someone, Dylan Brooks had panicked and run home, begging my father for help. He was so disoriented, he hadn't even noticed that the woman he hit was his biological mother. Unfortunately, just a few hours ago, I had sent the paternity test report to my father. He was furious when he received it. By the time we arrived, we witnessed the bloodiest scene imaginable. The police immediately became alert and dropped their weapons. I heard that my co had lost too much blood and couldn't be saved in time. My father finally confessed. He admitted to the faulty brakes. The attempted murder and Dylan's death were both his doing. That alone was enough to sentence him to death. Everything fell into place exactly as planned. Olivia Harper and I are still rivals, but also the best lovers one could ask for. At this moment, I finally understand, true love really can be this beautiful. Olivia Harper is the most special presence in my life, and I've finally found the courage to return her feelings. From that day on, although we continued to compete in our careers in life, we became the closest life partners. She would give me a warm hug when I was exhausted, and I would be there to help her find a way out whenever she felt troubled. We were no longer just opponents, we became each other's anchor. I know that in this lifetime, Olivia Harper and I will walk through countless springs, summers, autumns, and winters together. And every single day will be incredibly sweet, because of her. If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and keeps more videos coming your way. Thank you for listening.